James, SJ, Sly the Deuce, whatever, AI, the AI guy, AI with Sly, whatever you want to call it. I'm excited to be back. We talked a little bit last time about getting into AI. I've made a lot of progress since then, actually. So that's been kind of fantastic. And I wanted to just share a little bit with you. I'm really building this repository. I'm going to look back on this and be like, man, what was I doing? Right. But you got to start somewhere. So I want to talk to y'all about AI, man. AI is definitely coming for your job, coming for your job, coming for your job if you let it. I mean, if you just sit around and let AI take your job, it's absolutely coming. As you may or may not have figured out, we like to just get right into it. I ain't gonna make you wait through 10 hours of shout outs and what ifs and all that other stuff. We're gonna get right to it, right to it. Now, you might be watching a short, you might be watching the full video, but I certainly hope you did take the time to check out the full video. Bang that like, hit that subscribe. Y'all know how it goes down. But anyway, I'm gonna learn from teaching, so let's get to it, man. What AI is doing is, first of all, I want to be very clear. AI is not monolithic, okay? So there's not this one great master AI. So even when I'm using some of this language and moving forward, I might talk about it like as one single entity. That is not the case, okay? There's different types of AI. You got agentic AI, and that's like agent, so agentic. You got agentic AI. You've been using AI, I'm confident. If you're watching this, that means you're on YouTube or TikTok or some other platform where I've chopped this video up and sent it out to the world. You're using AI in your life. You have used AI in your life, and you're going to continue to use AI in your life. So I want to just clarify that right there. If you were thinking, I haven't really bought into this whole AI thing, I'm not quite sure about it, I'm still on the fence about it. That's like being on the fence about electricity. That's like being on the fence about running water. It is what it is. This is happening. It's already actually, like I said, been happening. Imagine going to a job interview and they ask you something like, hey, do you have a dependable car to be able to get to and from the office? And you say something like, I'm just a horse and buggy guy. I don't trust those cars just yet. That sounds silly, but we're also decades into this car thing, right? What I'm trying to tell you is AI is going to be big like electricity was big. It's going to be big like TV was big. If I was talking to my mom not too long ago, and I was like, if you just had public broadcasting, when TV first came out, if you were just like, I want to run a nonprofit channel that just supports, the local community, today you'd be PBS, right? Huge. Now, I don't know. Actually, I'm from Denver. I'm in Dallas right now. Damn, 15 people just like flooded up in here. What up, everybody? But anyway, I'm from Denver. So we got PBS, public broadcasting out there. I'm sure everybody has something similar. I'm just not sure what it's called in your area. What I'm saying is, for AI moving forward, you don't have to take over the world. You don't have to formulate your whole, you don't have to build an AI company from the ground up, is what I'm trying to say. But if you did, I can't see how it will hurt you. You know what I'm saying? With the way that the market is going, with the way that you're using AI when you use your dating app. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're using AI when you use your GPS. Like, there's many different types of AI, and I think that if we could get more, when I say we, I'm talking about my community, right? So, and by my community, I'm gonna be very clear. I'm talking about, I'm really thinking about like family members that I've heard say, but I'm not trying to put actual people out there like that. So I'm saying like elders in the community, right? They have expressed like, oh, I don't know if I trust it. I don't know. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? I don't know if I trust it. I don't know if I like what's going on with AI. I don't know this. I don't know that. And that's kind of what led me down this path. Now, a tiny little bit of backstory. If you know me, then you know me, right? You may already know this, you may not. But when I was maybe like 15, I used to teach elderly people how to use Microsoft Office. Now, at the time, Microsoft Office to me, a 15-year-old, was basic. I mean, this is how you send an email. This is how you open your music player. It's very, very basic. We're talking about on a PC, right? But I remember that older community, 50 plus, 55 plus, they had no idea what we was talking about. They didn't really understand how to do some of the things. So while it might have been, and I mean, like they didn't understand how to open up their inbox to send or see messages. So the concept they get, right? I want to communicate with somebody who's far away from me. I perfectly understand that. But once they went to go do the application, it was tough for them. It was creating issues for them. So they paid me and some other, 15-year-old kids to come in there and teach them how to use these processes. That stuck with me for years, man. I've always had a passion for learning, that's for sure. And they say that one of the best ways to learn is to teach. I did used to be a children's church teacher, so I don't want to make it sound in any way like I just got this bleeding heart. I'm the world's greatest educator. That's just not true. But I like learning about this stuff. And so if talking about it can help somebody else figure it out, then let's do it, man. Let's get this bread. Because with AI, I'm telling you, you can just about print money. Just about. I'm not talking about like 3D printers. Don't nobody do no counterfeit. Don't put none of that on me. Hey, SJ didn't tell you to do none of that. But if we're talking about like really getting your bread up. Now, if you do know me, if you've ever heard one of my songs, heard one of my poems, saw me live, anything I've ever done, sooner or later, we're going to end up talking about that bread. Okay. So you can do a lot with AI. So I just wanted, that's kind of all my intro, my opening. I want to talk about AI moving forward. I want questions. I'm not the world expert on this stuff just yet, but the more y'all ask and the more I go do homework, if you give me homework or you ask me questions, I will go get answers to your questions for you. I promise you. That's where we actually are going to be helping each other out. I want to learn more about this. I'm actually pivoting in my career towards being an AI prompt engineer. So I've actually developed some proprietary stuff. I won't go too far into it because it's proprietary, but I have developed some like governance systems, some financial frameworks and things like that. I'm more than happy to share those. I'm more than happy to share some of the prompts that I use to get there. But I just really wanted to get, what's the term, feedback? Where are y'all at with AI already? You already love it. I'm on the fence. I'm never going to use that. That's Skynet. That's the devil. What's your current take on AI? Y'all hit me in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. And then we'll just go from there. But some of the things that I have been learning is, like I said, there's different AI types, different AI models. I'm sure we have all heard about ChatGPT, right? Do you know what GPT stands for? I didn't. It actually stands for Generative Pre-trained Model. So the GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained. Now, generative AI is where it generates something back. So that's when you're talking to Siri. Hey, Siri, I got all my Apple devices acting up in the room, but hey, Siri, what's blah, 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 blah. And then Siri responds. That's a layer of AI where it's going and pulling data straight from the web and then just spitting out an answer, right? When you're talking with ChatGPT and you ask it a question, yes, sometimes it does do a web search, but a lot of times that's what pre-trained means. It already has this knowledge and then it's generating the most likely the next word that goes here. So I'll use a really, really watered down example. If you ask your AI, hey, 2 + 2 = what? It's been trained on enough math problems that it knows most likely the answer is 4, right? That example may have some caveats because, of course, it is a computer, which means it has a calculator baked in. So that calculating function is going to take place on the computing level. But I'm just explaining generative AI. So let me do a different example that's not so number based. If you ask it, hey, I want to take this girl out this is something I actually just planned. Hey, I'm trying to take my lady on a scenic tour through Denver, right? We're going to be there for X, Y, and Z days. I want to do a road trip. I want to be able to see 2 or 3 scenic routes, right? And I want to be able to do all of this in the same day. I may have already said that. But anyway, what it's going to do is it is going to research the web, find some basic information like this is the name of a place or this is the name of a hotel, right? But it's also taking all of that context that I just gave it. I want to take my girlfriend. So it's probably not gonna, it's gonna run that through the data it's been trained on. And a lot of times we are the data. Like when we're searching ChatGPT, when we're asking, hey Siri, I almost said she, talking about Siri, they're saving that information. What's up? What are you doing on the stream? I'm talking about AI, So anyway, these models are being trained on us and they're pre-trained. So that's what that means. And they're called large language models, the LLMs. So you may hear that term. But like I said, I want to take my girl on this trip. I want to do X, Y, and Z. So it already is using that context. Hey, I'm not going to bring back the most rugged and tough hike that I can find. He already told me he's going with his lady. He already told me he wants something scenic. So while there may be, again, I'm from Colorado, we go mountain hiking, mountain climbing and stuff like that. There may be some incredible places where you can get a good hike in, a good burn in, or we're gonna go deep, deep, deep in this cave, right? It might actually be pretty, but I don't know that I would take my girlfriend there, right? Especially somebody that's not from Colorado or somebody that doesn't already have hiking experience. So it's taking all of that context and it's providing most likely the next best statement. So what that means is that none of this stuff is written in blood. That's something that's very, very important to remember. I'm sorry, I'm talking loud with my hands. ChatGPT and AI as a whole requires a human in the loop. That's as of now. Who's to say what happens in 20 years, right? But as of now, human in the loop is very important because AI can hallucinate. It can have what they call data drift. It can do a few different things. So I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I just kind of wanted to explain and, like I said, ask y'all what is y'all's take on it. What's up? What's up? I'm seeing more people say hi. It's tough to kind of keep up with the thing, but it's all good. It's all good. I love it. I love it. So yes, questions that you may have, thoughts about AI. What are your favorite AI models? That's something I actually have a question of. I want to know what is y'all's favorite AI model. I'm familiar with DeepSeek, ChatGPT, like I mentioned. Gemini is crazy. I just got Gemini Pro, so don't be afraid to, we spend how much money on these PlayStations and Xboxes and, brand new this and brand new that. Don't be afraid to spend a little money, really play with these tools, see what they can do, because they will absolutely change your life if you let them. And the subject of the title, as you may see on the screen, is AI will take your job. And the reason that I named it that was, one, I knew it would catch your attention. Look at you. You're right here paying attention right now. But anyway, I also knew that there's just a lot of BS. I don't even want to call it BS because I don't want to disparage any of the content creators that are out there on YouTube. I just feel that the subject matter, though, I want you to be aware, AI is pumping a lot of what you're watching right now. So I could go right now and say, hey, Gemini, give me 12 reasons these bitches ain't worth my time, blah, blah, blah. And it'll give me a whole little red pill episode. Vice versa, I could go the other way. ChatGPT, tell me why these men ain't worth nothing, blah, 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 blah. And it'll give me a whole little ladies podcast, bullshit, right? What I'm saying is you need to be aware you're ingesting a lot of information. And I'm sure you've seen it. I don't know what you be watching, but I'm sure whatever you be watching on YouTube, you've seen at least one or two videos in your favorite niche, whatever you normally be watching. It's got an automated robotic voice, or the guy doesn't know how to say the word right. Because that's a pre-built script that somebody put into AI. And they got AI voice models. That's one right there. They've got AI. You can make AI videos. Now that's not brand new, but that's big. That's going to be huge. There are real life advertisers. We're talking about people that advertise for Procter & Gamble, people that advertise for Coca-Cola. I'm not talking about your homie up the street did no little AI flyer on Canva, which is, again, another example. We've been using AI. We've been using this stuff. This stuff is here. Why are we not proficient at it? Why are we not flexing and flossing with AI like anything else? Now, again, I mentioned the culture before. We'll take something in a heartbeat, freak it, flip it, make it do what it do. We need to be on that same type of time with AI, y'all. Straight like that. AI is here. I don't know how many people I've heard talk about big money and how they don't have, and I'm just talking about in general, the white man this and the society this and China this and all of that. And I'm like, bruh, AI is evening the playing field for a lot of people. And what I mean by that is, like, you're not going to compete with the Rockefellers, but you never were. You know what I'm saying? You never were. So the idea that they were somehow keeping you down is kind of false, is all that I'm getting at. Like, the people you're actually competing with, me and you are probably peers. If you're watching this, we probably in the same socioeconomic, space. I got a little bit less than $1 million, a little bit. And so I imagine you probably have a little bit less than $1 million if you're watching this video. So we on the same page. So that's one thing I want to be very clear about. When I'm saying leveling the playing field, I don't mean that you're getting ready to be Jeff Bezos, because Jeff Bezos has already captured market share. He's already built a company. He's already addressed a need. He's already in business. Okay, I want to be clear about that. My thought though is AI is going to enable you to get in business if that's what you want to do. I'm not one of those people that believes everybody should be an entrepreneur and we all need to have LLCs. If we all have LLCs, who's going to be my customer? You know what I'm saying? If we all around here thinking I'm the CEO, bruh, I need regular customers, bro. And I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I need folks I don't want to be competing for the same resources. And I'm saying that AI can really, really help, honestly, to reduce the competition with yourself. If I'm keeping it a buck with you, the biggest growth that I've experienced with AI has been, first of all, tinkering around, right? So there's all kinds of programs you can get. If you're on LinkedIn, there's certainly a learning track for AI. You can't walk outside without bumping into somebody trying to teach you AI or AI sales systems or AI program management. Something is AI based. I got I'm just looking around the room, got a little robot, right? I could say, hey, Bartholomew, start vacuuming, the little robot vacuums, right? That's AI to a degree. All these smart homes, this stuff we've been talking about, that's AI to a degree, right? So we've already been dealing with it. Now, is it going to take your job? I think that I was circling back to that. It is absolutely going to take your job if you let it. That's how I would put it. Just like if you are a guy that manages horses, I'm just using an example I used earlier, and cars are coming and you're saying, I don't care, I got the best horses in the land. You're going to let cars take your job in that instance, right? AI is going to take your job if you feel like you don't have to learn AI. And I don't mean you got to become a prompt engineer like me. I don't mean you got to go and study the entire LinkedIn learning stack. Those are resources. They're available to you if you want them. I'm not saying you got to do that, but you got to be able to have a deeper conversation than just, hey, Siri, who's got the smoked turkey wings in my area? Now, if you happen to know who's got the smoked turkey wings, please let me know, because I kind of rock with those. But what I'm saying is you can develop plans for your own life. There are therapy AI. There's a company called Lyra. I hope I'm saying that right. Lyra. They do therapy. Now, I am fully aware because I actually tried to get Gemini to give me some therapeutic interactions, and it tells you straight up, like, hey, my guidelines won't allow me to diagnose you, won't allow me to make certain won't allow it to spit out certain information. Now, what I found interesting about that in particular was I did ask it an outright psychological question, like, hey, take a look at my psychological map, tell me X, Y, and Z. Do you think I'm dealing with anything in terms of mental health? And it was like, I can't do that. Another thing that I was surprised that it couldn't do was, if you're familiar with Myers-Briggs, that's like a personality test. They use that a lot. They used it when I was in school. I know that some corporations also use it. And I asked Gemini, again, I'm kind of mixing up these models in my mind now. I asked Gemini, based on some of the information that you know about me, X, Y, and Z, what would you say that my Myers-Briggs was? And it also wouldn't give me that information. So that is interesting. If anybody knows what I may have done wrong or how I could edit that prompt, because I felt like a diagnosis is one thing. I understand why, Google Gemini would not want to be out giving people diagnoses that they're going to turn around and take action on, because Google Gemini is not your doctor, right? But I don't know, but I was thinking that a personality exam is kind of like a color on the spectrum. I mean, it doesn't hurt for you to say, hey, you seem red. I can't say you're red, but you seem red, So that was interesting to me. So if anybody's got any thoughts or questions about that, more thoughts. I'm the one with the questions. But if you got thoughts on that, let me know. But yeah, developing AI again, I'm not talking about coding. I want to be very clear. I'm not talking about Python. I'm not talking about Java. I'm not talking about any of that Star Trek stuff that comes up on the side of the screen. I'm talking about regular, like I'm talking right now. I'll be like, hey, yo, Gemini, you're my assistant. You're an expert in music. I'm going to upload my entire ASCAP catalog. I want you to give me some suggestions for our marketing plan, right? Oh, damn. AI is listening right now. I just said, if y'all got any questions, blah, 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 blah. And my thing popped up and said, ask a Q&A sticker, add a Q&A sticker. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, this stuff is real. It's very real. And a lot of things that we are familiar with, but don't think of it as AI are filters. The moment I do something like this, that's AI, big dog. You know what I'm saying? I always grew up being told I was 4 eyes. Now it's really happening. Y'all really think I just sprouted eyes on my face? Obviously not. But what I'm getting at is some of the stuff AI is like this new, I almost said a word. AI is not really a word. I mean, maybe it is. But anyway, it's like it's being marketed now. But AI has been here in the background. So some stuff that already was happening, now it's like, ooh, featuring AI. And you're like, bruh, it's been doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want the marketing push to scare you or make it feel like something just revolutionary just dropped onto the landscape. It's been happening. It's been progressive. I mean, we had, like, I keep using horses, knowing damn well I wasn't around for the horse and buggy days. But I'm saying we had cars, then we had smart cars. We had phones, then we had smartphones. We got computers, now we got smart computers. And the smart computers are building smarter computers, you know? So now we've got agentic AI that can actually prompt another AI model. Another one that I didn't mention is Claude. Claude is the man. Claude is dope. Again, there I go personalizing it. But that's their goal. That's what they want us to do. They want these systems entrenched in our daily lexicon. And they will absolutely be. So that's what I'm saying. It will take your job if you're the guy who everybody's talking about AI, like it's normal day-to-day stuff, like electricity. If I tell you, yeah, man, I came home last night, my kids had the lights on. That's a normal statement, right? If you say the lights, you mean the candles? I'm gonna look at you like you the odd man out. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna get to the point where you saying things like, I don't really rock with AI, I don't trust AI, I don't know about that. It's gonna seem weird. It's gonna seem like, how are you so far behind? And so if I can in any way, y'all notice, first of all, the channel ain't that big yet. So let me get my ego right. But I don't intend to ask for money for this. This is not a job for me. I love this. I was making music for a long, long time for the free. I was paying for studio time. So I love giving information. I love sharing information. And like I said, it helps me learn about this stuff. So, excuse me. Some of the things that I was saying earlier, like drift and hallucinations. So what that means is there are times where I'm talking with these language models daily, right? I'm really testing them and what they can do. There are some times where I will have developed a persona. I want you to, check that out. What is a persona and how do you build one of those? So you can build a persona in your ChatGPT or in your Claude or in your, whatever your large language model is. And you're pretty much explaining to it how you want it to work. The way that I would interact with AI, I'm gonna be 100 with you. Talk to it like you always wished you could talk to your girlfriend. That's the basic advice that I could give you. And what I mean by that is all those questions that you actually have in your mind that you filtered through to protect your relationship, you can ask those, and they're better to ask those for the AI. And this is what I mean. Hey, give me, just use an example we used earlier. Hey, give me an example or give me the best smoked turkey wings in a 5-mile radius of me, okay? It'll come back and it'll say SJ's turkey wings. I'm just making something up, right? You can ask it, hey, where did you get that answer? Like, how did you come up with that? It may say, then it will get, that's called chain of reasoning. I'm not trying to get too technical, but that's a thing. Asking the AI system how it got that answer improves your understanding and it improves the AI system. So you ask, how did you come up with this answer of SJ's wings? It says, Well, you asked about turkey wings. I searched Google Maps for restaurants matching that title. I didn't find any, but I did find chicken wings, and I gave you the top 3 results. And you can say in different ways, right? I specifically told you that I wanted turkey wings. Why did you think it was okay to bring me chicken wings? Another asking, trust but verify. That's what a big thing in the digital space. I trust the information, but I want to verify it. And you should do that in your personal life too, but I'm not a therapist. So trust but verify. I told you that I only wanted turkey wings. Why did you bring me back chicken wings? It may then tell you something along the lines of, hey, you're right. I did search for, I did receive your request for turkey. Turkey was not there. And I understand that it's more important for me to have an answer than to not, right? You then can say to your language model, whether that's ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, DeepSeek, whatever you're using, you can say, hey, here's what I want. I only want what I'm asking for verbatim. If they don't have exactly what I want, just bring me back no results. Or you could tell it, right? If I was with my girl, and I just keep using my girl as an example, I don't know why, she ain't even here. But I'm like, if you want the model, the result that I told you about, that one that was like, hey, bring me the next best option. You may value that. You may think that's excellent. Don't come back with 0 results. That's ridiculous. Come back with at least something. Hey, I didn't find any smoked turkey wings in your area, but here's the top 3 chicken wings. That works for you. You can develop personas down to like the person. I'm telling you, like, I have talked to my AI. I've got multiple threads going because any one of them was getting too dense. You can talk to it and say, like, listen, I want you to talk to me like Hulk Hogan. And it will process, it will go through the web, it will find all the data that it has on Hulk Hogan. It will synthesize that information into a persona. And what I mean by that is you will ask it, hey, where can I get the best chicken wings? And it will come back and say, listen, brother, the best chicken wings can be found by going, oh, don't you know? Now, it's not going to have all that energy, right? But it will say those words. It will say, listen, brother. And it is pulling that from its knowledge of Hulk Hogan. That is a pre-existing character, so it's very easy to do that. I've got an AI that I have based on Alfred. Hey, you are Alfred, meaning I'm in charge of you, technically, but you're older, you're actually wiser, and you've seen some stuff, right? If you know the story of Alfred, he ain't no bitch. So I could tell my AI from the very beginning, I'm going to ask you different questions, X, Y, and Z, but you need to filter all of the answers as if you are Alfred, okay? Then you can kind of tweak that. You can say, hey, I want you to use Alfred as a backdrop psychologically. I want you to use him as like source material. But your name isn't Alfred, okay? And you can name it whatever you want. Mine is named Mr. Charlie. There was a fantastic older black guy, actually, out here in Texas who did fragrances. He did like oils and stuff like that. He knew fragrance. I'm not talking about one of them players trying to sell you that alcohol smelling stuff on the bus and they telling you it smell like Louis and this is that Tom Ford. That's that bullshit. I'm talking about this guy was a real perfumer. He knew the top notes, the heart notes, the bass notes. He was dope with it, right? And he would teach. So, of course, I named my AI model after him. And that AI model specifically helps me with fragrances and clothing. Gentlemanly protocols, right? So it's the chief aesthetics officer. I have a whole board of directors. I've built a bunch of AI models that interact with one another to increase my productivity. But I'm not trying to go that far. I'm just saying that personas, you can build them, you can make them, and then you can tweak them later, right? You can say, hey, Alfred, I also want you to mix in a little bit of my second grade teacher if you want. And then you can tell it the kind of personality style that you want. That can be very helpful to you. And by that, I mean this. Like I just said, I've got Alfred. He helps me with X, Y, and Z. I can ask specific questions. I can ask any question and he'll bring it back kind of through a certain filter. You guys may have noticed this in your real life with like people, with friends. Man, every time I talk to SJ, it somehow turns into the money. Every single time I talk to so-and-so, it turns into when's the next party, right? And so none of these are negatives, but you can have that same level of interaction. Oh, this is my money friend. This is my party AI. This is my family AI. Hey, AI, I'm thinking about, like I said, taking the family on a trip. Where should we go, right? If I'm asking my money AI, it may say, here's somewhere you want to check out. The stock exchange of Chicago is located at blah, 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 because it knows that's where my framework is. So those are personas. There's a lot more that we could get into with that. What up? I see some top fans in the building. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Chad and what's it? Normal kid. What's up, man? We all just trying to be normal, man. So personas and then hallucinations. Here's the thing about hallucinations. So you can develop all of the things that I've been talking about. Let's say that those are stacking, okay? Even right now in this conversation, you might be like, bro, I don't even remember where we started. Homie just throwing out a bunch of random words. Your AI model can get like that too. So if you keep asking it questions and keep asking it questions, it can get sluggish. You can tell it to synthesize and like compress those memory files. That will help. That's a pro tip. But what I mean about hallucinations is sometimes, just like in real life, you ever been walking by somebody in the office? I'll just use an example at the warehouse, wherever you work. You ever been walking past somebody and you say like a good morning phrase or a what's up phrase, and they say a what's up phrase back to you, but they don't actually match? And I'm trying to think of a good example. It'll be like, here's a good example. It's a little different, but you ever say happy birthday to somebody and they say happy birthday back? And it's not your birthday, but you could tell like that was an automatic reaction. They were trying to be polite, and it's a program that was running in their mind, if you think about it from that way. There's a lot of responses that we are given and taught as kids. When someone says this, you say the same thing back. When someone says good morning, I say good morning. When someone says hello, I say hello. When someone says goodbye, I say goodbye. So there's a program or a prompt running in your own mind that allows for that. So AI also will help you understand how you think if you let it, if you want to. Again, it can be very, very complex, or it could just be what's up with the chicken wings. But hallucinations are similar to that pre-prepared, look at me, to that prepared stock response, even when it doesn't necessarily make sense. And so you may ask it, I'm going to stack now things that I've been saying. You may ask it, hey, Alfred, what are your thoughts on X, Y, and Z? And it doesn't honestly remember the conversation that you had. I'm trying to find a really good, like a tangible example, thinking if I was watching this video, would I be like, what is he talking about, right? So a hallucination is something like, okay, I got one. I just told you I got a board of directors of different AI threads and things like that. I have named them so that I can keep up with them. Sometimes we'll be talking, let's say I named you, I gave you your persona on Monday, but then I'm talking to you all Monday. We're going over financial plans. We're going over strategic planning for advertising. It can send text messages to people. I'm interacting with my business partners and things like this through the AI. Now, on Monday, I give you some information and I tell you your name, I give you your persona. Come Thursday, I may ask you, hey, what's your name again? And the AI will say something like, oh, I'm the butler. And you'll say, why do you think you're the butler? Like, now, mind you, in this example, I have told this AI it is Alfred, right? Alfred is a butler to the Batman model. But I am not really operating with that understanding. It was more about like, you're older than me, even though I'm kind of in charge. And, if you know the Batman backstory, his parents died when he was like 10 years old or something like that. So Alfred, in essence, raised him, but he's not his dad, right? So I'm not trying to get too far into it. I'm just saying that persona on Thursday, I may ask it, and it may not remember the granularity. And by remember, I mean it may not take the time to search every record in its memory to pull the correct data, but it remembers, or it has picked up on enough context to understand, okay, wait, I'm a servant. Okay, I'm a fancy servant. Okay, I'm the main servant. I understand that you have other helpers, but I'm the one that's in charge. I must be the head butler, right? So that is what I would consider a hallucination. And I learned something today that was like AI is about 97% accurate, but it's 100% confident. So it's going to say it like it's a fact. And that's why the human in the loop is so important. It's important for there to be a real life human being to be like, what are you talking about? That sounds crazy. Similar to having a girlfriend, right? You got to be calm, peaceful, and say, baby, that doesn't make any sense. So that's what a hallucination is. It'll take some information that's almost there or kind of there, and then it'll take that leap. You've dealt with this again in real life. You've dealt with this where I don't really remember, but I don't want to look like I don't remember, so I'm just going to say something, and I'm going to say it confidently, and it might go by. It might be able to get through this conversation without anybody checking me. If you don't check your AI, you will continue with that information though. So it'll be building upon that false premise, and then that by itself won't be such a big deal, but it can get dangerous, first of all, depending on your goals, right? And the more and more that you go. So if it's very important to me that this persona understands that it's Alfred and here's what exactly I need it to do, and now it's starting to, days and days later, start to just think of itself in general as like a butler, then what may end up happening is it doesn't even really remember that it was a butler. It just remembers that it was something like a helper. And then, we're into a different persona. We're into a different vein of thought. I'm getting different results. So that's something that you're going to want to keep in mind. I am not a programmer by any means, so I'm sure that the prompts that I'm describing or saying to you, they could be refined, they could be better. And if that's the case, by all means, please hit me in the comments, let me know. Feel free to DM me, shoot me other videos that I should watch, other content creators that I can watch. I want to learn more and more about this every day. I mean, I can't overstate the excitement. I am firmly confident that this is going to be major. And I was saying something before, we'll kind of switch back to that. Whatever you're watching on YouTube or any channel for that matter, I know you guys have seen those Sora videos, S-O-R-A. It's an app that allows you to make videos. That app is crazy, right? That app is dope on what you can do, what you can make, and what you can invent with your imagination. So AI, I was talking about it taking your job, and then I was talking about not letting it. Don't let it. Like, get out in front of it. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't be the person that just sits and watches AI take over the world. That I think that would be ridiculous. Because it's not like you just woke up one day and it was the Jetsons. You see it. You got an Alexa somewhere in your house. You got a robotic vacuum cleaner. You got an iPad, an iPhone. You got something. You got something that is using AI. You're using AI. The question is, I would dare say, what are you using it for? Because AI is dangerous, man. AI is dangerous in this way. AI is going to accelerate whatever you're doing. Whatever you're doing. Are you understanding? This was kind of a big deal when smartphones first came out. Because then flip phones didn't have the same, oh my God, I'm just attached to my phone. I gotta be on my phone. We also weren't scrolling. I mean, there's psychologists that are sitting down working with advertising agencies to determine, does it make more sense for the ad to scroll up or for the people to scroll down? You ever notice that? You don't scroll down. There's a reason. You don't, when you're on YouTube, you're not generally scrolling left and right, but when you are doing that when you're on Tinder. There are reasons for these things. Now, I don't know all the reasons. Don't come in my inbox like, why is Tinder set up the way it is? I don't know. Some of this stuff is proprietary and some of it partners with non-proprietary stuff to create these instances, right? But what I'm getting at is these smartphones exacerbate whatever you was already looking at, big dog. And I was just... I won't tell you who I was talking to because y'all think it was crazy, but I was just talking to somebody about, I think on the internet now, I got to call it pornography. That's just ridiculous. But anyway, that's a function of AI. The fact that we got to go on here and say all this ridiculous stuff like unalive, grape, I don't even know what word y'all use now for the word that starts with an M, and it used to mean a group of crows, right? A murder of crows is actually the term. So I hope I don't get demonetized or anything for saying that. But I'm saying the fact that you have this culture where we all say words that aren't really the word, and you're supposed to get it, is because we're operating around these AI filters. YouTube has got some kind of eye in the sky filter that puts that can go through words. It can analyze these videos. You can also do the same with AI. Don't let me get off track, but you can tell your AI like, hey, review this video for me and give me the bullet points. I'm telling y'all, there's no reason to be left behind. There's truly no reason to be left behind. But AI is filtering through it. It's analyzing what we say, and then it's determining, oh, this is a flagged word. This is not. It's very, very basic cybersecurity stuff. Whitelist, blacklist. If it's on the whitelist, it's accepted. If it's on the blacklist, it's not. Ain't no different than when you was a kid and your mama used to say, this house, and this house, you better not never go to. Those are called blacklisted. You ain't allowed to go over there. The whitelist was, hey, I know these people. They cool. I know they mama. You're welcome to go spend the night. Same deal. Just taking it into the digital space. So you've got AI that is affecting how you're consuming content right now today. Like I said, if I'm telling you, man, some girl got raped, you know, the human knows to filter that out and get to what I'm actually trying to say. So it is affecting the way that we as human beings communicate. That's what I mean when I'm saying like it's here. We're already interacting with it. There is no what if I don't want to. I mean, there is. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. You can go out to the woods, to a nice, quiet, remote area, and live off the grid if that's what you desire to do. I had a Sprinter van for a time, 13-foot condo, as I like to call it. You know, had the fold-up bed, had the closet, had the sink right there in the van, had the lights. It was a sexy mom. So I'm saying I don't have nothing against you if you want to live off the grid. But you gotta really want to be off the grid, big dog. I'm talking about really, really off. Because even in the whip, I had a hotspot. You know what I'm saying? I had internet access and things like that. So I'm not trying to get off track, but if you want to be off the grid, I'm not saying that you don't have a choice. I'm talking to the masses. AI is coming. You probably have it right now. I don't know. If you're using Microsoft Office, you're probably using Outreach. If you're using Outreach, you probably have a Copilot integration. Copilot is just the AI inside of, I'm in sales, so I'm never ever going to tell y'all too much about my job and things like that. Just the nature of the role. But I use Copilot in my email inbox. I could say, hey, I was out of the office last week. I'm behind on my emails. Bring me unread messages that have an urgent issue that I need to fix, ASAP. It'll go through my inbox, analyze what's in the emails, bring me the top results. So first thing in the morning, I can come in and say, hey, I want to put out fires. I know I was out last week. I know some customers tried to call me or whatever. How do I put out some fires? Vice versa. You can come in there and say, hey, I'm trying to close some sales before I handle my customer service stuff. Analyze my inbox and bring me messages that are unread where customers want to move forward with services, or they want a quote on services, or they want to enter into a contract, anything like that. It never actually makes that sound, but I always make that sound. So it'll do the little thing. Then it will come back, with these top results. It'll even go further. Would you like me to draft responses to this? And this is kind of what I mean about like hallucinations, because there's context. I don't know where you work, but certain terms mean certain things at your job. They might mean something different at my job. For example, very generic term, the big one. Okay. If I work at FedEx and I say, hey man, we're expecting another truck later. And you say, I thought we just emptied a truck. And I go, no, the big one. Oh, okay. In that frame of mind, I know what you're talking about. We sometimes have a small truck. We sometimes have these, I'm doing my arms like I could ever make a 40-foot trailer. That's crazy. But I'm saying that like sometimes you got small trucks, sometimes you got huge trucks, right? So if I say the big one, that might mean something in that instance. Now, in my job, telecommunications, I don't have any problem telling you that. Telecom, the big one might mean something completely different. I'm never, ever talking about a 40-foot trailer, ever. So if my AI doesn't understand the context of what we're talking about, if I haven't trained it on anything contextual, responding to a message about how the big one is running late might have two completely different implications. I might need to use completely different language other than that one phrase, the big one. Everything else about that may need to be different. So it's very important that's why I'm saying it's very important to understand how your AI works for what you're trying to accomplish, okay? And then, so Copilot in your email, that's a big one. Then the other thing I was saying before, and I know I bounce around, y'all, don't worry. When I chop it up into shorts, it's gonna seem like I'm just a genius dropping gems. So get out of here. But anyway, I'm saying that it exacerbates whoever you already are. So if you're productivity minded, if you're focused on your finances, those are gonna be some of the questions you naturally start asking AI. There's no right or wrong, okay? If you wanna ask it, how do I find a husband? Do that. I'm serious. Do that. I think some of you could benefit from the advice. If you want to ask, how can I level up so, more women will look at me? What I'm trying to say is ask the questions you actually have questions for. It's fun to ask stuff you already know. What is 2 + 2 5, right? But these AI models are deep, bro, and they've been trained on huge sets of data. So you're actually, in essence, interacting with the people that have trained it is the way that I think about it. So I didn't go to Princeton. I didn't go to Harvard, but I have access to that knowledge base now. So what I mean by that is I could tell my AI persona, hey, you're a Princeton graduate professor. Give me all the answers in the form of, how a professor would talk to a student. That's very different than how my butler would talk to me, right? And then you've got different modes. I won't go there just yet until I finish this thought. It's going to exacerbate whatever you're doing. If you're productivity minded, it's going to get better at learning you and understanding, oh, this guy wants results. This guy wants velocity. This guy wants X, Y, and Z. And it will start to tailor the information that it brings you in that way. And I'm saying this as a word of caution. If you are into bullshit, if you are searching trivial things, no judgment. Again, I need employees. I need people who ain't really on their game like that so I can sell them stuff later. I appreciate you. This is not judgment. But what I'm saying is if you're following, red pill, why women ain't worth it and, high value this and high value that, you're going to see more and more and more and more and more of it. More and more of it. If you want to you can literally put that in the persona. Hey, Gemini, review the red pill sphere and tell me what it takes to be a high value man. If that is important to you, and I'm saying be honest with yourself. Don't just use your AI to find the smoked turkey wings and you got real life big questions in your life, man. Now, of course, I'm also using it. You got to be careful when you tell folks stuff nowadays. I'm not saying let AI become your girlfriend. Please, y'all hear me. I'm not saying let it replace human interaction at all. I'm saying let it deepen human interaction, right? Man, I'm thinking about getting my girl something nice. What are some top ideas? You're literally asking every man that's ever walked is how I think about it. You're not asking this little machine. This little machine is like the speakerphone. And who can hear you is all the data out there. So there are many articles that have already been written. Again, articles you've never read, magazines you never even heard of to go get the magazine article. There are articles, there are books written about relationships. It will ingest that information, synthesize that information, and bring it to you in a format that you can ingest. I would advise that you ingest it. Take your time, take a break, get up, walk around. Like I'm saying, you should ask questions that really make you think, oh, damn, I didn't know I'd be here this long. I didn't know I'd be in this kind of conversation with this AI. I am telling y'all, it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. Try it out. Try it out. That would be today's homework. Just try it out. Start talking to your agentic AI or your large language model. I know I said I have the pro version. You do not have to spend any money to do this homework. You don't have to spend any money to watch these videos. My lights is on. You see, I'm not up here asking y'all for nothing. I appreciate what y'all do. Some of y'all have already blessed my game in the private space. that's your business and I appreciate it. But I'm not asking nobody for nothing. But I'm saying that if you take anything from this, take the excitement. I hope the energy is coming across, and I really hope that you can feel what I'm saying. I'm hoping that I'm painting a clear picture for you. And that's kind of a misnomer, even as I say it, because I'm like, it's going to be big like electricity was big, meaning I don't even have the full picture. Nobody has the full where this is going to go just yet, but it's going. Is going. The other thing, I don't even want to go there, but I was learning about investing and I was asking AI, like, how can I invest more in AI? And it was like, well, first of all, everybody thinks about like the company itself that makes the AI model, right? When I say chat GPT, like I said, 95% of you know what I'm talking about right off the bat. Who makes those chips? Who owns the data centers that run the equipment that powers AI behind the scenes? Who owns the utility companies that provide the energy? Because energy consumption is through the roof with AI. Similar to when crypto was big, crypto ate up a ton of electricity. So while some people were banking on the crypto itself, other people were banking on the infrastructure, around it. No matter what AI does, I don't care if you're curing cancer or trying to get a happy ending, right? You're going to need electricity. So you can make some bets like that. And I would say bets, I mean investments, because none of this investment advice, be clear. I might mention money. You need to talk to your financial advisor, your priest, your shaman, whoever you talk to your dollars about, do that. But I'm just saying that it can certainly affect your approach. You can synthesize information. You can synthesize books. I mean, you can truly accelerate your learning. I myself am a geek. I don't mind telling you that. And I was surprised, like, oh, snap, this is going fast. I asked it one question, it brought me back an answer. And if you're inquisitive and you have the time, truly just talk with it, chat with it, ask it what it can do, ask it what it can't do. And I can't stress again the personas. You can make it very clear. Hey, you're AI and I don't trust you. Everything you say, I need you to show me how you got that answer. It's not a problem. It'll do that. I will also say, this is a bit more advanced. Use AI, use what I do personally. I'll just give you an actual example. I use Claude to run a Sentinel protocol to check on my Gemini to see how it's operating. So I have it draft a letter. I have the Claude instance. That's what we'll call the threads. Each new thread is an instance. I have Claude draft a letter to the Gemini instance that I wanted to talk to and say, hey, so the user, your AI will obviously understand that it's interacting with you. You can tell it your name. You can make up a name if you want, right? But just stick with it. So in my realm, I'm the architect because I'm the one that built this AI governance model. Now, of course, it knows my name. So when I tell it to write me a resume or send an email, my actual name is in there. But anyway, you can have your Claude instance draft a memo to your Google Pro or your Gemini instance and say, hey, the architect or the user wants me to check and make sure that everything's working good here. Give me, whatever information you're seeking. Give me your full understanding of how you came to be. Talk to me about your personas. Tell me what plans we're currently working on. Tell me what data you still have outstanding, that doesn't directly feed into your imperatives. And then that Gemini model can spit out a response that I can take and put back in the Claude instance. I want to be very clear. These things do require some copy and pasting between the apps. So yeah, it's definitely more advanced to have actual interlaced AI systems like ChatGPT and DALL-E. A lot of times when that happens, it's on the enterprise level and you, the end user, are just benefiting from that, right? Like Google Pro has the banana. You didn't have to go find the banana app and then integrate them on the back end or anything like that. That's already in there. But there are ways you can integrate these systems. Some AI is specifically around coding. So you can tell it, here's what I want done. It will give you the code for it. You take that code, put it in your computer. Of course, you verify it. You always want to verify it. And then you can start doing other things with that. I was talking to one of my best friends yesterday. I was actually talking to my best friend yesterday. And he was talking about using AI to create his own Wi-Fi network at his house. When I tell y'all I be hanging around people smarter than me, I mean it. I'm not no dummy, but sometimes my friends say stuff and I'm like, bro, you got to be a certified genius. I didn't even think that. I'm thinking, how can I pay off this credit card? And I'm proud of myself because I'm, interacting. I'm like, what would Charlie Munger say? Now, if y'all don't know, Charlie Munger is the man. He's the OG. He's the real one. And he used to say, we're not trying to get rich fast. We're trying to get rich for certain. I can rock with that. So I'm interacting with dead people, frankly. Hey man, what would Ben Franklin say? What would Thomas Jefferson's thought on what I'm getting ready to do be? How would Diddy approach this? Probably probably don't want to ask how Diddy would approach the situation given the current climate, but you know what I'm saying. You get where I'm going with it. So do what you can with that. I mean, this has been a lot. I'm gonna go get me some food. I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna do. I spend a lot of time in the digital space, but in the real world, we gotta feed that information, feed that mind as well. But this was just on me today. I have missed y'all. I wanted to get back before this. It will not be weeks and weeks between videos. But I'm also gonna be real. I'm not running a television network here. I'm not gonna be here every single night at 6 on the dot. Because again, I'm not getting paid for this. Okay, I'm a professional at heart, and I take it serious. I appreciate your time. You can be anywhere in the world right now, and you here watching this, with me, and I certainly appreciate that. Please let me know where you're watching from. That also helps me to understand how to kind of tailor some of my messages, and frankly, it helps me with advertising. So I don't I don't mind promoting what I got going on, and I want to know where I'm gaining some traction. I know the last time I did this, I had a very interactive viewer from China. So I hope you're doing well. I don't remember your name off the top of my head. I'm so sorry. I'll review the tape, but I hope things are going well. You were mentioning a civil war that was going on in China. So I'm certainly wishing you the best. Anybody else that is watching this right now, I'm certainly wishing you the best. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I hope that you have blessings and riches. I hope that you have wealth in spirit, in mind, and in body. I hope that your family is good. It's currently December. Is it the 17th? I think it's the 17th. Yeah. So we're just midway through December, coming up on the holiday season. I don't know what you celebrate. Christmas, Hanukkah. There's another one. Don't get me wrong. Kwanzaa. There's another one. Yeah. So whatever you may celebrate, I certainly hope that you appreciate your family. I hope you appreciate your time with your family and your loved ones, and take some time to talk to your AI. Sweet talk Siri a little bit. Ask AI what it can do for you. Honestly, and honestly, I'm telling you, you've probably talked to your AI system enough that you could start to ask it some questions like, hey, where do you see gaps in my current productivity? Where do you see, hey, I'm looking to get in shape. Oh my God, this one just came to my mind. And I'm going to be quick because I'm going to wrap these up at an hour pretty much every time. I try to be very tight with the time. Y'all didn't just come to sit and watch me talk. In fact, let AI break this video down for you. Synthesize this video into bullet points. I'm cool with that, right? Because I'm not here to get paid unless you want to pay me. But you can take a picture of random ingredients on your counter and say, give me a recipe for this. I just saw that today. They literally had like a bunch of stuff on the counter. Let's just say you got pepper, a bag of flour, blah, 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 blah. They took a picture of it and was like, give me a recipe for this. And it came back with a recipe, y'all. Incredible. It is incredible. Now, the kids know this. The college kids know this because they dumb as a bag of rocks. See, I almost did that. I almost did that boomer stuff. They are not intelligent in the same ways the generation before them was. That's perfectly fine. I think that that's actually a sign of growth. We didn't work this hard to get AI to be real for nobody to use the damn thing. So I love y'all. I love when you write reports with ChatGPT. Like I said, I need people who ain't actually reading between the lines so I can sell them stuff later. Because the people that read between the lines will always have a job. Do you hear me? AI is only coming for your job if you let it. Y'all, please be blessed. Enjoy your families. Make sure you check out Slide the Deuce on Spotify, LinkedIn. When's the last time you heard them two go together? But anyway, yeah, check out the music. I am dropping some new stuff this year or next year, but that ain't what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about AI, and we did that. So peace out.